Get it started. Ladies and gentlemen,
let's go.
Welcome to the next episode of Not Table Talk. I'm Shawn Ambrosino, and I am the content manager here at Nutrex Research. With me again this week is the VP. The VIP, which is a great show, by the way. If you've never seen it, it's hilarious.
Never seen it. Sounds terrible.
Veep, I think it's called Veep. It is awesome. And we're gonna talk to the people. We're gonna.
That's what we do.
It's Amped Week. Last week was Burn Day. Now it's Amped Week. I am stoked. This has been a long time coming.
Good Lord.
This stuff is amazing. Okay.
That it is. Trust me.
It's a little like look. Here's what I'm gonna say. I believe in evolution, and I believe that people that take this and they say it's too strong, it's what it is. It's just weakness, and what it is what we need to do.
He doesn't mean that, guys. He doesn't. We love everybody.
No, he's wrong. I don't. I mean this. I think if you're allergic to something, it's nature trying to get rid of weakness from the bloodline. If you cannot take OUTLIFT Amped, just end your line. You shouldn't have kids. You shouldn't keep going. That's it.
Just don't do a full scoop.
Okay.
As a precautionary tell. Yeah.
So Burn is a totally different animal. We talked about Burn. Let's talk about Amped. What separates Amped from Burn?
Well, to start, one's called Amped and the other one's called Burn. They're different. God. They're different end colors.
End of the podcast.
That was a quick one.
Thanks for helping us.
Keep it concise. So, the main difference is, and it's very obvious, but obviously, one is a high stimulant pre-workout, which we get the lines kind of blurry there, and the other one is strictly a fat burner, but also has all of the componentry to be determined as a pre-workout as well. So the main differentiating factors would be that Burn has a lot of fat burning components inside of there, featuring metabolite, which you should check out because it's incredible. And it has no beta-alanine in Burn. But did I mess that up? I might have messed that up. You know, right. We should have a Burn here. Okay, take that back 5 seconds, erase it. I'm kidding, guys. You could vet me out and call me out all day. But the main difference is this one is going to have more for the nootropic focus, euphoria, and Burn has some of that too, but we really went heavy on the OUTLIFT Amped, and that's where you're going to see a massive dose of tyrosine, which is personally one of my favorite ingredients out there. Just gives you a really good, feel-good, uplifting like drive in the gym, stacked with the alpha GPC, just like OUTLIFT Burn, 600 milligrams. This one is going to have slightly more caffeine. This one has teocrine, which is an awesome ingredient that comes from kucha tea, which is it could be used as an energy aid, although it doesn't work in the same pathways as caffeine. It still gives you a boost. Cognatic, that's going to be from a coffee bean extract, and this is going to be a very strong nootropic. We have 100 milligrams inside there, and then wrapping it off with one of everybody's favorites, the Raufolia, which I always mispronounce, but also known as alpha yohimbe, and that combination together gives you honestly like borderline gray market illegal experience while being completely compliant. And I'm not BSing anybody. If you're taking some old school pre-workouts with some of the, not to mention in this so I don't get in trouble, ingredients, this gets you that effect. And this is 100% legal that we could sell without any compliance issues.
Okay, first of all, I don't care for you taking off my stack. I like it nice and even. Second of all, here's a weird question. As far as this is concerned, I'm a guy that likes to work out at night. Like, I work out after work. Like, that's what I do. I go to the gym. What's the best way to not stay up till 3 a.m. while taking this stuff?
Well, who doesn't want to stay up till 3 a.m?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, Donald Trump used to stay up all night. He's
24/7.
Yeah, he's known to be a light sleeper. I can get by on 5 hours. I can't get by on 3 hours.
Anything less, it goes down.
Yeah. Is there like if I wanted to get the effects of OUTLIFT, what time can I take it where I can get to sleep at least around 11, do you think?
So everybody's physiology is different. The physiological difference in everybody will determine your body's ability to metabolize these ingredients. So it is a case-by-case basis, but since it is a stimulant, I would caution people to, and this is where you're not going to do the full scoop, especially if you're doing it late. You start with a very low dose, and maybe you don't get too much of an impact, but you're able to go to sleep, and that's a good compromise that you could have. But with any kind of stimulant, me personally, I don't take anything with caffeine after 5 p.m. That's just my body. Some people could train at 10 p.m. and take a full scoop and get to bed right after they get done working out. Now, I will say, since this is a very comprehensive blend of energy ingredients and nootropics, it is designed to sustain for a while. And what I mean by that is you're not going to have your stereotypical crash that you do with other pre-workouts that get you super amped, jittery in 30 minutes. 30 minutes later, you're already crashing inside the gym. We designed this to be very much a smooth and sustained energy release, so you get a long, encompassing experience. And with that being said, you should probably be cautious if you're doing it late, because we did create it to really stay in your body for a little bit. So if you do train in the morning, like I do, you get energy all the way through the afternoon and you feel incredible.
So, like if I work out at 6 and I took it at 3, would I still get the effects? Well, I mean, would it still...
There's definitely a threshold of when all of these ingredients are uptook inside of your body. So the whole recommended dose is typically 30 to 45 minutes, like all your other standard pre-workouts. Now, if you wanted to mix a full serving, and let's say you are working out a couple hours later and you wanted to kind of sip that gradually, then you're still going to have a lot of energy that sustains you into your workout, even if it's 2 to 3 hours later.
So rather than slamming it, maybe just sipping it for a while.
It. And it tastes delicious. It's actually really good.
I keep telling people, every time we do these testings, I go, I'm just surprised at how good everything tastes. Like, and we're getting, we're getting little shots, right? Yep. When we try this, we're getting little shots. Now, when we did the burn, I felt that burn, that heat immedially. Well, I wouldn't say immediately, but at least 10 minutes later, I'm like, ooh, okay,
it kicks in quick.
Let me do this. With the amped, I definitely felt like, after we took those shots, I definitely felt a little more focused. It was so much easier to focus mentally. And I think that's something that a lot of people that work out tend to forget about is that lifting shouldn't be mindless. Mm-hmm. Like you should have, not only should you have a purpose, but you should really truly make that mind-body connection. And what is the complex in this that actually helps with that? Like where does that focus come from? Yeah,
so we call the subcategory, which is just so cleverly named, amped up, dialed in blend. That's where the whole mind-muscle connection comes in. And when you bring that up, in my opinion, that is the most important part in the gym. If you're trying to achieve, if you're trying to grow your muscles and really activate the muscle fibers, the mind-muscle connection is a real thing. So being able to really, as you're training, feel the weight and allowing your muscles to move the weight and not your joints and not any movement, because we're not shitty lifters here, is where you're going to get the most muscle recruitment. So when you have a nootropic like this, it allows you to just get this very clear tunnel vision and feel your muscles, feel the muscle fibers being activated, which is going to help with hypertrophy. So amped up, dialed in blend, this is something that I personally, we obsessed about it for months. Me and Felix sat down and we're like, well, could we tweak this with keeping the cost of goods in mind? Which, for anybody out there, if you're a formulator, brand owner, or know about manufacturing, this is a really expensive formula. But that's where we came in with one of my favorite ingredients, 3 grams of tyrosine, 600 milligrams of alpha GPC. Those 2 ingredients by themselves are incredible. But then when you stack it with just a little bit of stimulants, and this is on the higher spectrum of caffeine, but not too high where nobody's going to be able to take it. But the combination, there's a synergy, and this is purely anecdotal. There's no scientific studies to back this up. It's just coming from me making shit up. But there's a synergy with these ingredients. So when you take them in combination, you get this very nice stimulated energy without being jittery, but that dialed in laser-like focus allows you to really get inside your body and feel your body's movement and be able to activate muscles, be able to recruit more muscle fibers. And that's, like I said, where you get more of the hypertrophy.
You had me at stimulated.
Stimulated.
Now,
laser effect. Stimulated.
So, you know, the pre-workout niche is pretty stacked, right?
Absolutely.
There's a lot of competition out there. And, you know, we know who our competition is. We know the names, and we don't mind naming them. Mm-hmm. You know, we know that it's, you know, Alpha Lion. We know that it's a Gorilla Mind. We know the brands that we are stacking up against. Why is this? How does this
compare?
Why
is it superior? Why is Nutrex superior?
Which, look, this is going to be weird, and I work for the company, so I am gonna, you know, I'm gonna wave the flag, but I truly believe it because I've tried. You know, before I worked here, I was a supplement guy. I've always been a supplement guy. I've always taken, you know, different products from different companies, but the quality of the stuff that Nutrex has, you know, I think somehow that got lost along the way over the years. Like, people forgot just how good the stuff is. So I know that we not only does this have quality ingredients, quality products, you know, but we also know that it does do, like, we are, I hate to say it, I think it's above, I don't hate to say it, I 100%
be proud.
believe that we are above the other brands with what we're putting out.
Hey,
of
course.
How, but I don't know how to verbalize that in the nerd speak that you do.
Articulate what
like,
you say.
I can tell you, I like the way ours tastes. I like to tell you how I feel, but I don't know this stuff, that what makes us better than the other two brands that we mentioned.
That's a packed one. So let's go back to the genesis of when pre-workouts first went away from proprietary blends. So you know exactly what's inside your pre-workout for those, you know, full disclosure, transparency, if you will. So if you go back to the beginning days, which were maybe around 2014, brands started to have their formulas revealed, where prior to that, they were in proprietary blends where you didn't know what you're getting. So from that as a start date, once brands started to show what was inside their formula, other brands started to follow suit, but not in necessarily a positive way. They knew what the competition was doing that was successful with it, so they started to replicate, emulate, carbon copy, plagiarize, whatever you want to call it. So fast forward until now, since things went to the transparency that they are now, a lot of the brands started doing the exact same thing. And with that, there was a lot of mindless formulations. So people would see something that was successful, think it's going to make them successful, and replicate it. And if you know anything about success, one pathway is going to work for another individual. That's a pathway, it's unique to yourself. So what we've done with this is, yes, there are clinical studies for some of the ingredients that are inside of our product, but the one thing that we do differently that other brands do not all of the brands, not naming any brand in particular, but I know a lot of brands don't because they emulate other brands, they don't do a lot of market research and internal research. And we obsess with our research and development. So much so that this almost took like a year to come out because there's so many different versions of it. And with minor tweaks and getting people's feedback, and it eventually evolved into what it is right now. So one of the bigger differentiating factors, because there are a lot of other similar pre-workouts out there, is that we spent time to ensure that our customer experience was upheld and prioritized over everything else. Instead of just going on PubMed, or instead of going on Examine, or looking at your competition and saying like so-and-so did this, we're going to do it too, like 90% of the brands maybe even higher do, we sat down, we picked ingredients that had studies behind it, they had validation behind it, and then we started to comprise this formula together off of our own internal and external experience. And everything that accumulated to create OUTLIFT Amped is because we've got so much positive feedback that we knew we had something special. And I could bet $1 million, infinite amount of dollars, like Donald Trump would say, that, and don't hate me that I mentioned Trump, I'm gonna get canceled now. We spent that much time in research and development, and I know a lot of other brands don't do that. So this is literally, 50 people's feedback and years, because I've been studying supplements for years, and Felix has too, years and years and years of research to come up with one formula. And that is just something very unique to Nutrex that not many other people do.
I'm generally, and we've talked last time we talked about this stuff. I'm generally not a pre-workout guy. Like I'll take it every once in a while. Like when I feel I'm really dragging, I'll take it. But there's that was weird. There is a culture. There seems to be a culture around like pre-workouts. I can't tell you how many times I walk into the gym and I see like a tub of pre-workout just sitting on the counter inside the bathroom. It's like there is a culture around this stuff, and it tends to be younger kids, right? Yeah. And which baffles me because you wouldn't think these kids need the
that
energy.
Much energy.
Yeah, but they love it and they need it, and they're looking for their next fix, I guess. Is this how will this fit in with that culture? Like I'm trying to think who would be the guy that chooses amped over burn, right? Like obviously I'm a burn guy. I got a little bit of chub, so I could
fluff to cut.
I could burn a little of the chub, so the burn makes sense for me. But who is somebody that was like, you know what, amped is that's my shizit.
So it's really tough since the category is so saturated. One of the best ways to break through is social validation. So that could be anybody internally, externally, our affiliates, athletes, customer reviews. So they have the trust. Like you have to build the trust into the product because the category is so saturated. There's a million different pre-workouts out there. Another aspect of it would be the educated consumer that knows what they're looking for. Since it is a transparent formula, anybody that knows anything about ingredients would be able to look at this formula and have that wow moment. Wow, Nutrex really took their time and put together a spectacular formula that I know you could just look at it on paper. I know what it's going to do. And then when they take it, since other companies haven't had the same composition as this formula, when they take it, they actually get an even better experience than they could expect. But as far as the demographic that would take it, I mean, we don't want to sell to anybody under 18, obviously, because I don't want to get in trouble. But this could be somebody in your 18 to mid 20s that does need a big boost because we know that they drink energy drinks all day. As you get older, we could kind of pull back on it, and that's where I do a half scoop to 3/4 scoop, and it still gets me geeked out of my mind in a very positive way, but I'm sweating like crazy because there's alpha humidity inside there. But when we started designing Amped, we wanted to have a high stimulant, very impactful kind of energy formula, but we wanted it to be comprehensive in a way that anybody, depending on, regardless of your age or sport or what your interests are, that something accommodates to you. So that's why you don't have to do a full scoop. This could be a half a scoop, and then you get 22 servings. On our burn, people are doing a third of the scoop, which gets you 66 servings. So, I don't have a scoop out, but it's a massive scoop. And yeah, it is for everybody as long as you dose it correctly.
Yeah, I was thinking I was looking more for what the dude looked like, but that'll do. Like you're saying, it's more
lives in his mom's basement.
It's more than
only
just
goes to
gym
the gym.
bros.
Yeah.
It's more than just gym bros, right?
More than just gym bros. Hey, that's
you're
a good way of putting
thinking
it.
you thinking somebody wants that. You think, it's just a gym bro thing, but
Yep.
no, it's probably the opposite. It's probably somebody that knows what they're doing, or at least has some history with it.
Yep.
Now, I know it doesn't look like it, but I only lift 2 days a week. The other days,
Never know.
The other days, I did my time, right?
Yep.
Like I did my time in prison when I was younger. I was lifting, not real prison, please, but I call the gym prison, and I used to work out 5 days a week, 6 days a week, religiously. But I don't need to do that anymore. I'm not trying to get bigger and stronger. I'm just trying not to lose what I want or what I got.
Sustain.
And then I'm making some gains. There's just I don't need like again, I have no need to be the biggest guy in the room anymore.
To kill your body.
Well,
you
yeah.
know what I mean? Longevity plays a big factor.
Yeah, I'm trying to go lighter with everything I'm doing.
Yep.
But I do again, this is gonna shock you. I do a lot of cardio. I know you don't see me as a cardio guy.
Makes your heart healthy.
Yeah, but I do a lot of cardio. Will this help my cardio? Will it hinder my cardio? Do you take this on only the days you lift, or do you just take it when you feel like you need that extra?
I won't get into my caffeine addiction because I definitely take a little bit every day. Not a full serving on my off days, but I'll have a little boost to get me going. But yeah, so the applicability of this formula is broad. So it can be for a workout that you're just doing some heavy lifting. Say you're a power lifter and you're taking 5-minute rest intervals to build up your glycogen and ATP. It could be for the person that's doing lower intervals that you need something that gets you through it. You could use it for some very intense, high-intensity interval training or long-lasting cardio. For cardio, I love it because it does have the beta-alanine, which is a lactic acid buffer. It has citrulline that's going to help out with endurance, and then all of the nootropics that are in there as well, too, get you dialed in. And if you know cardio and doing like an hour, if you're on prep and they have you do like an hour and a half a day, it is very unenjoyable, and this could be the defining factor of you being able to accomplish that cardio that day and not. So it could be utilized as a great asset for kind of a lot of things, but even cardio.
Awesome. Well, that will come into play then for me. Because, I want to do cardio in the mornings. It's just I wake up and I'm like, bro.
Hell nah.
I don't want to go.
Hell nah,
I gotta
nah,
make myself go a lot of the time.
Cold shower, baby. First thing when you get up.
So maybe I'll take a cold shower. No, I'm not doing the cold shower thing. I'll do ice plunges.
Best thing ever. I don't have an ice plunge. I'm not a rich kid, but someday I will have an ice plunge.
They're not. You don't need to be a rich kid anymore. You get them cheaper now. But what was I going to say? So before we close out, I know you're getting ready to leave and go across the pond. We're not going to say where. We don't need to know where.
Don't need to know where I'm going.
What are you taking with you?
Follow me on Instagram.
Are you taking OUTLIFT, or are you taking OUTLIFT Amped? You taking OUTLIFT Burn? You taking OUTLIFT Clinical? You taking Hemo Rage? Which product are you taking with you to sustain you over the next couple of weeks?
What's in Chris's bag? So I am going to be on a workation for 2.5 weeks, and I'm not going to work out a damn day. I'm going to be in Europe, and they got some amazing coffee there. Like cafes or coffee shops that are everywhere, and that will be the only form of stimulant. So kind of using it to deload my body, even though I'm going to have coffee. But if you're a stimulant taker, coffee's water. It just tastes good when you put cream and sugar inside of it. No black coffee. It's not my style. But I'm not going to be taking any supplements with me. One, because check bags are super freaking expensive going over there. And two, just to give my body a break. And that doesn't mean that you necessarily have to. Obviously, you don't want to be mega dosing any kind of supplement continually every single day. It's all about moderation. But when I go on trips like this, I like to just give my entire body a rest from the gym. Like, I lift heavy, and when you train, you do jujitsu. So that beats the heck out of your body. You don't have any rest days, and now all the science is showing that rest is just as important as beating down your body, because if you don't have that rest interval, your body's not recovering, your muscles aren't recovering, you're not going to get progress. You're just going to overtrain, and that'll impact a lot of other variables inside of your body. So on our trip, no supplements. The one thing I'm going to try to bring is some, biotin, collagen, because my hair's falling out. And I take collagen all the time for my joints because it feels really good. But outside of that, man, it's just going to be a nice body cleanse. So when I come back in 2.5 weeks, I take that scoop and I'm going to be shooting laser beams out my eyes.
Oh, that reminds me. I got an idea for an advertisement that we're going to have to talk about.
Oh, God. I'm stoked.
Speaking of laser beams coming out of eyes. Speaking of laser beams coming out of eyes.
Is that the one with kittens?
No, unicorns. Unicorns. But that's for another time. All right, guys. I think... Dude, you as always, you've given a lot of insight into the product, given you guys a lot to think about. Hopefully, you can help make your choice between Amped or Burn. Or, I got an idea.
Try both.
I'm telling you, different flavors, different flavor profiles, different feelings. Totally worth it to maybe we'll do a little sale.
Yeah.
I don't know. That would be cool. Buy one...
Try both.
Try both for a discount. I don't know, not yet, but we'll put it out there. So, but try both. But thank you guys for watching as always. Before we go, again, like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel.
Give us some love.
Hit the notifications bell. That way you'll know every time a new video goes up. You'll notice we're putting these out weekly. The idea is to do more than that once we get flowing, but hit that notifications bell. That way you'll know every time a new episode is up. And don't forget to comment. Let us know what you think. If you've tried Amped, if you've tried Burn, if you've tried anything, let us know. We'll and if you have any questions, put them in there. We'll answer them. I have no problem.
Absolutely. We love getting
talking
feedback.
to you guys.
Love getting feedback from everybody. And thank you, Shawn. Thank everybody out there.
Yeah.
Until next time, have a good one.
Peace.
Should have the very end of the video and with the high five.